Hello, Howard Hoover. This is Mr. Hain. I'm here with another video. This one goes with our third grade lesson of creating depth in a drawing again. So we are going to continue with that theme, and it's really open as to what it is that you want to make, but what I'm suggesting is almost like a plane or a rocket flying out of a planet in space. Because the idea of making our planets very small and whatever our flying object is much larger is really going to play into that idea. But again, it could be anything. You might want to look up pictures on the internet of your plane or your rocket that you're drawing. But you could also use like a model if you have a little model plane or a model car. If you want the car to be the thing flying out of the planet, or a dinosaur, and you give it wings, whatever it is, you can be creative with it. But you might want to find some of those images to help you when you're drawing this. Or you could go ahead and just kind of follow step by step with the drawing that I'm going to make today. Okay? I am going to be, again, using the pencil, and I've switched to a thin Sharpie for the drawing part. When it comes to coloring, you could, again, use your favorite medium. If it's crayons at this point, colored pencils, watercolors, markers, that's all totally fine. Okay? All right, let's get started. All right, so again, we are going to start with whatever it is that you have kind of flying off of your planet. I chose this plane, but again, it could be a car. It could be a real little model metal plane if you have one, or something else that you make up, a dragon. Again, whatever you want it to be. This just happens to be what I'm drawing. We want to start with this because this gives us the size we need to know how small to make our planets. Because this has to be much larger than these to kind of give that effect that this object has flown out of our planets and up to you. Okay? All right, so we also want to think about the placement of our first object. If I put it near the bottom, I'm going to make sure that it's going to be like flying all the way up here. If we put it all the way off on the side, it might be a little bit difficult to get that effect. So I find somewhere near the middle actually gives us a lot of options. So if I'm going to make my plane, like the jet that I have in my drawing, I'm going to start with that kind of glass piece. I'm going to make a curved, very slightly curved line. It's going to be like a shallow kind of piece of glass, nice curved line that's here. You can draw a little highlight here. Now, for this, we know that planes have a very, most typically like a longer pointy nose, but because it's looking directly at you, we have to kind of shorten that space on our paper. And if you remember in second grade when we talked about foreshortening with our redwood trees, again, we're taking that distance that it would be long, and then we're making it smaller on our paper. Okay, we're shortening a little bit. So I put some lines here on the sides, and I'm going to kind of draw almost like a triangle coming to a point here. Again, a lot of times the fighter jets or planes, the tip of the nose is colored slightly different. We want to put that in as a much steeper curve here. You can do a little highlight that's coming here. Then the body of the jet, because it's again facing us as if it's coming right at us, it's going to get much smaller very quickly. So I draw my lines back to another point, back here. I'm going to kind of put a little, another rounded line to kind of end it. Now for the front wings, right where this bend's happening is where I'm going to draw my straight lines that are coming out. And they should be, really it's kind of up to you how you feel they look. I think that they should be somewhere around this distance, which is similar to the width of the jet that you started. Now here, I'm going to draw my lines again coming back at an angle, almost like they're coming back here. And then right here, bring this line so it's almost as if I would come across the top of the glass to about here and then connect it somewhere about here. These are kind of like the end little controls of the wings. Then we are going to have our rear ones the same way. They're going to be much smaller. So I have these back here. They kind of make this triangle shape. Put in my small lines on the end. Then I have my center one. It's going to be a point like that. Okay, so now I have my jet that's kind of flying directly at us. From here, if you wanted to add, you could add some more reflections within the body of it. If you wanted to add, depending on your jet, the jet propulsion on the sides. Just make sure again that you bring these lines, they're kind of tapering in to that point. Again, that's just optional if you want to. Now, here's kind of like the fun part where we're going to make it seem like it has now flown off of a planet. Because of the space where we want to make sure that it isn't just this little short line, I'm going to make mine curved, and right around near the tail of the jet, I'm going to kind of add those kind of lines like the smoke or the heat coming off. Then I'm going to curve my line. I'm going to make almost like a S shape. And then here at the end, I'm going to kind of bring it so it kind of stops directly down here. Okay. There I'm going to make my planet that I've come off of. So I'm going to make a circle. Now right here too, I just think it adds a neat effect is I'm going to kind of add a little more of those like explosion lines like the jet has taken off from it. Okay. From here too, we can add a neat way to make it feel more like a planet. You could of course draw planet Earth if you want, but I like to make my planets where I kind of make these curved lines that come across on either side. I think it just kind of adds like a neat illustrated feel for a planet. Okay, so I have one planet there. Now I would just go in and fill the space with different, smaller planets around. So I can make a small one back here, maybe another one here. Could add, I'm going to keep them in this general area of my paper. So I might go ahead and put maybe one. Again, you want to vary the sizes. If they're all exactly the same, it kind of throws it off. So this one might be slightly bigger. And again, I'm going to go ahead and draw those jaggedy kind of edges. You could put almost like a dot in here, like Jupiter has that storm. But then I'm going to give it rings like Saturn. So when they come off, this one would go behind, this one comes in front. You want to make sure you keep this oval very narrow to feel like it's coming here. Okay, and again, you just kind of go ahead and fill it up with as many planets as you're liking. After that, take your time. Go ahead in and Sharpie this. Oh, my Sharpie is dying, so I'm going to switch. And remember that the nice part about adding your Sharpie right over your pencil is you can use your pencil as a guide. So if there's something that you don't like if I wanted to make those wings bigger, I now have a guide for my pencil and I could just go ahead and draw right over top of it and make them bigger and then erase it, and I won't see the lines at all. So it's not like redrawing, it's just kind of knowing what you want to fix. So just take your time, trace it all over. Now when I go to color this, we know that space, I think what's going to really drive this home to look really nice is our space is going to be black. So if it was marker or crayons, I'd fill it all in black or watercolors. And then you can choose really bright, vibrant colors for your planets. And this area around here that your jet or your plane just kind of come from. So take your time. I definitely would outline. Your planets. I'll actually show you. I have the Moonlight jellies. A neat way that we can color them. So you would outline everything with your Sharpie, and then our Moonlight jellies that we have. These are really kind of fun, the gel pens that are bright that you can use for your drawing. But again, if you have fluorescent like this green and this pink, I think are going to look pretty nice. So I could take these, fill in my bright green. If this is set against a black background, it's really going to stand out really kind of nice. I could fill in this green, and I would use the pink to fill in my other areas. You can see just how bright and vibrant that is. That's going to kind of add this fun space feel to it. So take your time. You want to make sure if you're covering all of the white that you totally fill it all in. That's another thing too, when we're filling in our background, especially if you're using these bright colors, the darker that is and the brighter these are, the more that's going to stand out. So that's one thing you want to make sure you do. Okay? All right. Hope you guys like that one, and I'll see you later. Thanks.